Okay, so this is how we will write a do while statement, right? This is how we will write the do while statement. And already in the previous classes we learned how to install the server, right? And I hope you already installed and you are working on it, server. Okay, so next we are having a request string. Request string. You just observe. It is very easy to understand. I will give one example so that from that example you will get some idea about what is this request string. Request string. Okay. Now I enter. Okay. Whenever I enter, let us take the login page itself. I will give username and the password. Okay. I will give the username and the password. Then I will click on submit button or a login button, what button it is there, right? So when I click on this button, when I click on that particular button, using Chrome, whatever it may be, that browser will generate not formed. Once you enter the values, that is username and the password, once you click on the submit button, the browser will generate a request. Okay, the browser will generate a request. Okay, that request is nothing but request string. Can you remember that request is nothing but a request string? Okay, so this request, what will be there in this particular request string? So query string, whatever the data is there, password will be there, right side text box will be there. So in that text box we will enter in username we will enter username and password will enter password, right? So that particular data we should send along with the URL. Generate a request string when you click on the submit button. So what will be there in this request string? The complete URL of the server to which you need to contact, the complete URL of the server. Then along with the query string will be there. Query string is nothing but the data what you are providing inside the form, that is username and the password, will be embedded into the URL. Okay, will be embedded into the URL. You can just observe here. So after the question mark, whatever the name, F name is equals to Bob and L name is equals to Smith. Okay, so this is what which are given for F name and the L name. Okay, so this is what we will call it as a query string. Okay, this is what it is, a query string. Okay, and this is the URL. This is the URL, right? This is the URL. Okay, so this complete thing, including URL plus a query string, this complete thing we will call it as a request string. Okay, we will call it as a request string. So this, who will generate this request string? Browser. The browser is responsible to generate a request string which includes the URL as well as the query string, which includes the URL as well as the query string. Now the request we are sending for the server. Server is nothing but a file which is running on the server, that is a servlet, right? Now the servlet should read this request. The servlet should read this request. So for that we already learned one particular method called as get parameter. Get parameter name of the particular, suppose if we are sending this F name, so we are using get parameter name of F name. Similarly, to read this one we will use a get parameter of L name, right? So this is what we will write inside the servlet. Okay, so kindly remember, this is the request string which is generated or which is formed by the browser whenever a user whenever the user fills the form and he clicks on the submit. Okay, request string. Now to read this request, the servlet is responsible to read this request. So there we will use get parameter. If you want to read the parameter names, then we will use get parameter name, or we will use get parameter method, right? And this already we learned how to use these parameters inside the servlet. That is another part, all right? Okay. So this is what with respect to request string. We just observe here. This is the servlet program or the servlet code which we need to write into the servlet program, right? To read the data request, right? To read, we are using get parameter of f name, because f name is there inside the request string. Similarly, l name is there inside the request string. For that, we are using get parameter. So both are they are inside the request object, which is coming from the browser to the servlet, right? And that we are storing into one variable called as a first name and the last name. Later you can store these first name and the last name into the database, then you can retrieve and you can check whether both are same based on the function objective, right? Kindly remember, whenever we click submit button, whenever a request is made from the browser to the server, request string will be generated along with the data which we are entering inside the request. So that comes up, this is the URL and question mark. After this, the query string will be there, query string. Okay. So this is how we will read this is how we will read the uh, request object. Okay. So remember that this one request string, right? So this is with respect to the request string, and also in the we learn how to read the request and how the request will be generated by the browser and all. So this is at the servlet, and this is what the request string we are getting into the servlet. Okay, this is what the request string we are getting into the servlet. Okay. Next, if you are reading multiple values means array. If you are reading, then you can read and you can store inside a variable string. In an array of a string, you can store and you can use this index values to retrieve that one. But totally, we are using one is get parameter method, other one is get parameter value method. Get parameter value method. Okay, so this is what the request string we are having.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
Is it not visible?
No, sir. Presentation is not visible.
Visible. From my side, it is visible. From how much time? Now is it visible? Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Kindly check your internet.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is what the complete request string and that is generated when we made a request from the client to the server, that is the browser will generate this request string along with the URL. This query string will also be there. Kindly don't mistake a query string along with the request string means this complete thing. Query string means only the data which we enter inside the form. Okay, this is query string. Okay, query string will be embedded to the URL, so that becomes the request string. Okay, And this next we are having user sessions. Okay, user session, that is session management, right? So session means, already we discussed in the previous classes, session means it is the interval of time from the user logs in and up to he logs out, right? Up to he logs out, right? So a Java program must be able to track the session as a client moves between the HTML pages and the JSP programs, right? So for that, there are three commonly used methods are there to track the session. One is we can use a hidden field method, other one is by cookie, and other one is by Java Bean we can write, right? So these are the various methods we are having to track the sessions. Kindly remember, there are three methods we are having to track the session. One is by using the hidden field method. Next one by using cookies. Okay. Next one by using Java Bean. Java Bean, right? What is this hidden field method, right? So it is a field in an HTML form where its value is not displayed on the HTML page. Kindly remember, as the name itself suggests, hidden field. Hidden field. Field is there, but the value will not be displayed on the HTML page. Okay, we can assign a value to a hidden field in a JSP program before the program sends the dynamic HTML content to the browser. Remember, okay, the field will be there and which the value will not be displayed on the HTML page. And if this value we should assign to that hidden field before our program generates the request. Okay, before our program generates the request. Okay, for example, just observe. Okay, whenever we click on the submit button, okay, our JSP database will display dynamic login screen, okay, where the browser sends the user ID as well as password to the JSP program. When the submit button is selected or when we click on the submit button, these parameters are read and stored into the two memory variables, that is request string. Okay, that is query string is formed. Query string is formed. Okay, then our JSP program will validate this login information, and then it generates a dynamic HTML page once the user ID and the password are approved. Kindly remember. Okay, hidden field. Whenever you enter, whenever you enter the username or the password in the login page, I am talking. Whenever we enter, first it will be validated. First it will be validated. Once it is validated, then it will generate the dynamic request. Okay, that becomes the request string. That becomes the request string. Okay, so each time a request is made, this user ID and passwords are approved. Okay, then the new dynamically built HTML page contains the form that contains this hidden field. Okay, along with the other fields also will be there, whereas this hidden field will be there inside that particular form, right? This you should keep it in mind. We can track the sessions in three methods. One is hidden field method, other one is cookies. Already we learned how these cookies can be used for session tracking, and Java Beans, right? And third method is Java Bean. Okay, the first one, hidden field. So this field will not be displayed on the HTML page, but it will be there on the HTML page. Okay, so we can assign the value for this before our browser generates the dynamic request. Okay, dynamic HTML page for the browser, right? So once we enter the details, then that particular details will be validated, and once it is approved, then a dynamically uh, built HTML page can be obtained, and this page contains the hidden field along with the other fields. Okay, field for. Okay, and the remaining thing which is created uh, JSP, which is created by a JSP program. Next month for ID. Next month ID. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? Kindly respond. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
There is a little bit difference with the internet, so I hope we cut the session, right? You just see now you can take the example of this again when we are back to the session. Again when we are back to the session, again we need to identify the server will forget me, right? The server will forget me. The thing is, from my computer, I should send the means browser should send the cookie along with the request. Then only the server will come to know. Okay, this is the continuation version. Okay, this is the continuation version. The session is still going on. This is how session tracking and the cookies will be helpful. Okay, this you can take it as a best example where the cookies will be acting and where the session tracking will be happening. Now our you can just observe our meeting is continuing from the last. You can just see. So even though internet has been reduced, but the timing is the same. It is continuing, right? So this is what session tracking. Okay. Uh, right. The information which is stored inside the cookies are user preferences, an ID of the user, as well as the session tracking. The ID can be used for session tracking along with the system info. What are the methods we are using? What are the methods we are using to create a cookie? Right? Cookies constructor can be used. Then add cookie method we are using. Right? Add cookie method we are using to add the cookies right into the response. Yes or no? You can just observe. We'll give an example program here. we just see we are assigning a variables my cookie name as user ID and my cookie value as a JK1234, right? The next we are trying to add this cookie for to the response along with the my cookie name along with the so this is sent as a response for the browser. This is sent as a response for the browser. So whenever the next request comes here, this along with this cookie the browser should send, right? So hence to read this one, to read this cookie, we will use a get cookies method, right? From the request object, cookies can be read and it is stored inside the cookies argue cookies array if you are having more than one cookies. Next, we can read that cookies by using get name method and get value. Then we are checking if the cookie names of I is equals to cookie name. Both are equal means then we are printing found and my cookie value we are displaying, right? So here you should remember so the cookie constructor is used to create a cookie. Add cookie is used to add the cookies into the request object. And then get cookies method is used cookies from the request object. Okay. So this is done by the server part, and this is also done by the server part, right? From the browser, we along with the request, cookies has to be sent. Okay. Here, any doubt?